Well, here we are, a minute with Stony Stone, and it is Monday, and you know what's going on. I'm here with
Darren from Team Sift.
Team Sift, and we are just off the Catfish Bash. Wow.
Yep.
All I got to say is wow.
Yep.
So many things to talk about, and we only have an hour.
Yeah.
And
No, we got a minute.
We got a minute. You know, it's funny. You're right. It's a minute because my wife says, hey, when are you going to come home from fishing? I'll be all home in a minute.
Yep.
It's kind of like this podcast in a minute.
Yep.
So a couple of ground rules for tonight. I never had to do ground rules, but we are pretty much keeping everybody muted, everybody's cameras off until Eric lets you in. So he's going to be the gatekeeper and trying to control kind of anything that may go on, could go on. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're kind of doing this a little different. If you want to say something or have something to say, put it in the comment section. Or put your little hand raiser, little hand thing, and Eric will look at it, and he will make the decision. So it's not about being nice to me; it's about being nice to Eric.
Yeah.
so be nice in your comments.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna jump right into it. The Catfish Summer Bash. It was definitely summertime. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was a little miserable, but it was still a blast.
Yeah.
We always have a good time. We entered to have a good time and hopefully, do well. And so we'll jump right into that. So right at the top of the board, Team Two Birds, first place at 48.61. So the very first thing I see of this is 48.61. How did they win with 48.61? Uh-oh, Eric's going to introduce.
Stop.
He's going to correct this. Yes, sir.
Ben Harper said F Eric with the C.
With a C.
It is F Eric with a K. Get it right or shut the fuck up.
You don't care about saying fuck Eric. He spelled his name wrong.
No, right.
Whatever.
Okay,
that's funny.
So I'm going to have two parts of these standings. One is going to be where we finished and talk a little bit about people. And we're not about people.
Well, you like to talk about people, so.
But then we're going to go look at the one that a lot of people want to know is where are we for the championship.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spend more time there. And that's where we're going to kind of talk about where people finished, how they progressed or fell back. And there'll be some of that here just based on what we're seeing. Two Birds being at the top is not uncommon.
No.
They do pretty well.
No.
Pretty strong team. They're up there in first place. Steve Johnson was out there with Catfish Posse. With a couple people he had on his boat, which I believe were related to Steve and Judy, and either that Steve and Judy luck paid off, or Steve Johnson's a good fisherman, or whatever you want to say. But they came in at second place at 47 pounds.
Yep.
Alley Cats third place, 43.29. Another new team. I'm saying another. I mean, they are a new team on the leaderboard. They haven't been doing this very long. Entered in there.
And then there's a big surprise to everybody.
I know, right? Old Bart's Fishing, fourth place.
Yep.
At 41.7. Where is it? 41.78
pounds.
At 15.49 pounds. Now we weighed in first.
Yep.
That is the longest time ever where we held first place in a tournament for I don't know how many people weighed in. It must have been half the fleet, if not more.
Yeah.
And we were still in first place. And I'm thinking, we're only going to hold this for like the second weigh-in, and we're going to be off the leaderboard, right? And I was like, what is going on?
Then you started getting excited.
I did. I was like, we actually might do well. And then, Team Two Birds comes in, and, we fell down one. I'm like, all right, we still got second.
Yeah.
Then Steve weighs in right after him, and I'm like, well, shit, now we fell down. And then here comes Alley Cats out of the left field with wham. I'm like, well, there goes our money.
Yep.
But it was fun.
But these weights reflect what the weekend was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then who do we got next?
We got Bar S.
Bar S.
With 40.49 pounds, finished fifth.
And they're a new team, right? Bar S, Ben out there. We fished next to him. Steve was in that same area.
Those are Two Birds.
Those hot dogs. Or Spam. The bacon Spam, Ben. The bacon Spam. Not that I'm saying we used it or didn't use it. We might have used it, but you saw it.
I was showing on people. The boat.
I was showing people. That bacon Spam got me up to, could be, right?
Yeah.
You don't know. So Ben's sitting there across from us, right? And we catch our first fish, and he started to drift. He's going by. He's all, hey, is that a fish? We're like, no, it's my lunch. What fish? I don't know. He's all, you guys got a fish? We're like, nope, we don't have any fish. We're like, shit, get the net down, put the net down.
Yeah.
Then there's another one. Sorry, I'm like digressing a little bit, but when you were kind of behind us, right? I don't know if you saw me and Anthony. Anthony's on the doing
Oh,
his thing, and
yeah.
I'm with the net. We had no fish. We're just like, watch this.
Yeah.
And so,
And that's the thing. People look for that net to fly.
yeah.
You
So I'm
know?
like, watch this. We're gonna mess with Darren. And I'm like,
Yep.
and like I saw your head turn, and we're like, it worked. But yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't have a fish then. It was
Then
pretty.
we got Rusty Hook.
So Rusty Hook is Aaron,
Aaron, and his wife, right? His
wife and family.
Yep.
I think he had his family.
Yeah,
That's
they had 38.53 pounds.
Yep.
You know, and I'm sorry, Aaron, I let you down this time. I know you told me you owe Stoney a shot now because you always bet on me,
Oh,
and we lost this time. I'm really sorry about that, Aaron. I'll
Side bets
bring it back
against me.
next week.
Side bets.
Yeah. And then we had Snag 'em and Bag 'em Hooked.
So that is Kevin with hooked with Kevin.
Hooked on Phonics.
No, hooked with
Oh.
Kevin. Guide service.
36.37 pounds. Excuse me. They finished 7th. And then Old Toolie Creek, they did
Julie
good.
Creek, they did good.
They did
We're going to
good.
talk a little bit more about them when we get into the standings. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they finished 8th at 36.3.
Right.
Yeah. And then what else we got there?
Whiskers.
Whiskers.
I think that's Jake. I think Jake's team is called Whiskers.
Okay.
Down in 9th place.
With 34.67.
So I think he won Mendocino.
Yeah.
And now he's in 9th place.
And now, just to bring it up, while we're reading these standings, yes, Stoney did beat me this time.
Woo-hoo! No picture on the wall.
No picture on the wall this time. My fishing partner Chad had to stay home. He had his kid's birthday.
Didn't you say you had a honeydew list?
So we
Oh, wait, no. Never mind.
we gave Stoney a chance.
I'll give you a chance. Oh.
We now we can call it an official rivalry.
It's
You
a-
won one.
All right, so now I'm going to keep that lead, and I got a trick up my sleeve for next tournament, though.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna find out.
Okay.
We're going deep on this one. We got to go back to the old school of how we used to do things, and I think if you're going to have 3 people,
You
we're going
gotta
to have
remember.
3 people too.
You got to remember, my boat's faster than yours.
It is.
I
It
can
is.
follow you.
You can follow me, but I
You're
think
not getting away.
I think we're pulling somebody out from the past to add
Okay.
to the team that's fished with us before, and
Huh?
we'll have to.
You're gonna get
Cool.
Steve on your boat,
We'll talk about that later.
huh?
Where were we? Whiskers, 9th place. That was Jake, right?
Yep. 34.67 pounds. Snagging Whiskers.
I don't know who they are, honestly. They're a newer team. I don't
Yeah.
remember. Watch it be one of the regulars, and I'm like,
Yeah.
totally blew it. But
But they finished 10th with 33.8 pounds, or 0.08 pounds, excuse me. And then Hook 'em Big.
hook 'em big. They hook 'em all.
Big, hook 'em big, hook 'em all, hook 'em big, hook 'em small. Sometimes they
Dude.
don't hook 'em at all.
Okay, you're just like making up the lyrics as you go. You totally screwed up that jingle. You don't even smoke.
Sounded
right?
good though.
I
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
But it wasn't right. But it was close. At least I think, and I'll screw it up too. But hook
Yeah.
'em big.
They got
hook 'em all, big or
32.7
small.
pounds.
Yeah, big or small.
They hook 'em all.
Sometimes not at all.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry.
I think we got it. Whisker getters.
Yeah.
Those are our kokanee boys or walleye boys. With him and Dave Mayo.
Yeah. They did good. They did 32.45 pounds.
Well,
From
they
12th
went from first place
to 12th
beginning of
place.
February down to 12th. So we'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit
But,
more later.
but I mean, they're still up there compared to some of these other teams. I mean,
Yeah.
We can keep continuing.
Yeah, Calusa Cats.
Calusa Cats.
This guy
13.
John Rivera out of Calusa City used to fish all the tournaments. He hasn't been in this one in a while, and him and I used to have a little rivalry,
Yeah.
kind of like you and I did or do.
Yeah.
But we would kind of see who was going to place higher than the other, and I still got that beat. I beat John too, so.
Yep, it was a good showing for you for finally.
It was. I mean, 4th place. Come on, that was all Anthony. So
Yeah,
we're good.
We know that. You put another picture of him up here?
No, it's all you get, Anthony. Cat Whispers, right? So Cat Whispers is a brand new team. I believe my memory is correct. These guys are bass fishermen
Yes, they were out there in a bass boat.
in a bass boat. So we take off. They're in 15, or I forgot where they launched.
Yeah.
What number they were. But they came flying around, not close to
Mhm.
us, but they came. I'm like, damn it, Anthony,
Yeah.
we need to just
I think
change
they
our
were
boat
like
to a
the
bass boat.
first ones there.
But I'm like, I'm going to change to a bass boat now. Screw that. Those things fly.
You're not going to be a bass hole, are you?
No, I'm going to have a bass boat, but set up for
You'll still be a
catfishing.
bass hole.
I don't know. It won't be a bass boat. We have to come up
You'll
with a
still
new
be a
name.
bass hole.
But those guys won
Big fish.
Big Fish at 19.06 pounds.
Yep.
And they also won the blind bogey at 31.32.
I know.
So they won both.
I got excited about that one. I was like, oh, we're close. And then I was like, no.
Yeah,
Somebody
I did
got
that.
31.
Yep. And then here you are at 16th.
16th place, 30.11 pounds. It was a rough weekend for us.
That's less than 15 pounds of fish.
Yes, it is.
That's,
Fish were small this time. I mean, you can.
not to this
See
guy, they
by
got a
the weights.
19.06
Yeah,
pound.
but that's still not a big fish.
We didn't even break 20 pounds.
No.
Not 20, and we didn't even break 50 pounds of total weight.
Yep.
So, yeah, small fish.
Yep.
Oh, do you want to hear the shit I heard beginning of the tournament?
Uh-oh.
Somebody said we won't release the names until the show releases. Someone claimed they were going to pull in a 100-pound bag.
Yes, they
Gee,
did.
I wonder who that
Yes,
was.
they did.
Yeah, I heard a few things that were spoken about how they were gonna
Now, I
do
think-
this and that, and I didn't see any of that happen.
No, I think it was. They wanted to have 100 pounds of fish total.
Yeah, 100 bag.
For total
No, but
combined.
do the math.
Yeah.
And what's the lake limit? What's Herb's
Herb?
record?
38 pounds.
33.
33.
Yeah,
To
33.
get 100 pounds, you're pretty much getting 3 lake records.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Someone's smoking crack.
Yeah, could be.
CMC Fishing, another brand new team, 17th place.
Yep.
Now,
Pandemic.
Pandemic, our sponsor, you know,
He was one of the
Purpose
ones that
of development?
he didn't follow the crowd.
he took off and did his own thing, and he didn't
I'm gonna
want to
tell
be
you
with
what,
the
though.
mess. He didn't want
I
to be
want
with
to
the
tell
mess.
you what, though. He pulled a fast one.
Uh-oh.
He pulled a fast one. We took off because we were 16th?
Yeah,
16th
you're
or
way down there.
17th team
To
to
launch.
launch. And we take off, and I look over, and I see Pandemic going. I'm looking over to the right. And all of a sudden, he powers down. I'm like, oh, shit, I hope he's all right. I hope everything's okay.
Oh, shit. So he slowed down.
He slowed down. He brought it down to an idle. And he let everybody go by him. And I think he went left instead of
Oh.
continuing right.
So he
I think he
sucked
kinda-
everybody in.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Team Sippy Cup, 19th place. This was an upset here. This is one that shocked me. They weighed in one fish.
Not me. They're from Southern California.
Team
Just
Sippy
kidding.
Cup, 18.71
Yeah,
pounds with
that's-
one fish.
That's.
I'm like, where's the rest of the
But-
fish?
Don't forget what Judith said. She's a little upset with her husband.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
that.
He had a fish in the net, her fish in the net.
Oh.
He turned around, he said, and he turned back around, the fish was gone.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't want to be on that boat. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Fetching the Bite. He's a new team. Started fishing this year. Derek.
Yep.
And he's way down there. He turned in one fish as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. There's a couple people that just didn't turn in any fish.
And so you got Catfish Trackers, which again I don't remember who they are. I think they're a pretty new team, if I remember.
Yeah.
No, that's Ray Sykes. I think
Okay.
Ray, I think, is 21. Came in 17.78, and then you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Six
teams
Yep.
that turned in no
No fish.
fish. And in that list, Catfish, let me see, Hogfathers
Hogfathers.
won before, I believe. They were way at the
Hookers
top.
has done
Happy
decent.
Hookers. You got this brand new team, ClearLakeGuides.com is what they registered as,
Yep.
and they had no fish. Whisker Warriors, I think, is new. This one here, Scarlet Bread, that's Ron Ladd.
Okay.
That was a shocker to me too.
Yeah.
So a lot of big hitters or people that do well are either with no fish or towards the bottom. So it was just a crazy tournament.
Yeah.
Starting at noon, threw a lot of people off. I think, so here's my own opinion on that. Right, is a lot of people are bitching about the noon start. We all have to face or fish the same conditions, no
Yes.
matter what they are.
Yeah.
We're all fishing the same. I think, like when we went to Mendocino,
Mhm.
totally different water, totally different thing. A lot of people hemmed and haw. We had a few teams not even go, right?
Yep.
New water, new thing. To this, you took Clear Lake that we all fish and made it a new lake.
Pretty much.
in a sense of
Pretty much.
you're not getting that early morning bite,
Yeah.
and you're really not getting the evening bite either. We're putting you right in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So you're kind of saying, you know what, we're going to level the playing field, and that's exactly what we saw in these results. There's a few teams at the top that should be at the top. Typically on how they fish.
Yeah.
You got a brand new guy up at the top. We're up there. You're like, oh, something must be totally wrong.
Yeah.
Because we're up there. But then the rest of the story just hands out. A lot of guys that are supposed to be up there weren't. They were at the bottom. So it's anybody's game.
Yeah, it was definitely a post spawn. A lot of those fish were post spawn. They were skinny.
Right.
I don't think the fish were as aggressive as normal.
No, and like I said, 2 hours to get our first fish, and normally we're like hooking up within the first half hour, or sometimes as soon as you drop in. You know, it's
So, and we're gonna have the same conditions in just over a month.
Just over a month. I think it's 5 or 6 weeks. We'll be doing it again, and it's the same, basically the rinse and repeat of this one as far as the timing. Now you're going to be a little bit hotter, probably. The algae bloom is going to be a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Water temperature we noticed, and
on
Friday when we were up there, we went over to Lakeport in the morning, and in the morning it was afternoon. It was like 82, 83 pounds.
Okay.
Or 82, 83 degrees. And we go over to the redbud side, the other side of the lake, and we're down barely 80 in some spots.
Yep.
And so huge fluctuations in temperature. Is that going to dictate where the fish go? Possibly, right?
Yeah.
Hotter temperatures, less oxygen, different depths. So take all that information, algae bloom, and then figure out what your game plan is once you get into that. So yeah, a lot of upsets going on, which there was a lot of upsets, definitely. We're going to get to a little bit of that later. We'll talk about some of the drama that may have happened, and I'll give you my 2 cents of kind of what I saw. And I know a lot of people want to know what the outcome was, and we'll talk a little bit about that. There's been some Facebook posts and some messages sent to people that needed to be told directly, and we'll talk about that a little bit and give my commentary. So with that being said, the other thing people want to know about is where are we with the standings for the year? So we have February, April, and June, 3 tournaments complete. Yep. And with this, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on just kind of breaking it down. And this is going to be interesting. So in the leader for December qualifier at 115.54 total weight for the year is Alley Cats. Who in their wildest dreams would think Donald Kellogg with a pontoon boat, him and his wife, I believe is who that is, right? If I'm getting the teams right, I believe it's that team, is the leaderboard. And February put them way up there. They had 59, almost 60 pounds in February. Yeah. So, and this is interesting as you go through this and you start looking at these weights. Alley Cats is in first place, right?
On the tournament recap.
Yep. They got a 59.4 February weight. They got, fourth place. At 29th, they dropped, this was Mendocino, 12 pounds of Mendocino, third place. And then they only got 43 pounds.
Yeah.
And then Tule Creek Hunting Outfitters, Josh LeBoy's team, in February, at 66. Yeah. So perfect timing. Josh had 66.95 pounds in February. Broke 60. I mean, we're talking between this tournament and last tournament, 25 pound difference as far as the like most weight in. So 65 pounds. Second place, Mendocino 11. This is what cracks me up. They got fourth place with 11 pounds. So you obviously know the fish were much smaller in Mendocino. And that's the 3-bag limit, not a one fish. I mean, they may have turned in one fish, but so even if you had 3 fish, you had 11 pounds. Those fish were pretty small. Maybe they only had one. I don't remember. And then they came in fourth place in this tournament. So they're sitting at number 2. And then you got 2 birds with Chris Wheeler and his wife, Viola. They had 53.3 pounds in 9th place, 88.25 in 5th, and then 48.61 in first place. So, they're moving up, having some good weights. And then you got Jake with his team, Whiskers, at 49.45 in 13th place, 15.55. And Mendocino with first place. So he's got a 15-pound bag in the lake he wanted to fish and took first place. Suspicious? I don't know. But he got his first place win. Because then he goes into this one, and he drops way down to 9th place with 99.67 total pounds in 5th place. Then you got Whisker Getters, which is Dave Mayo and Warren. their very first time going from being kokanee fishermen to
Yeah.
being walleye fishermen, said, hey, we want to go try this catfish thing out. Let's see how we do. They win the tournament with one of the biggest bags we've seen at 66.4 pounds. First place win. They didn't fish Mendocino, so they have no fish on that. Or April, yeah, they didn't fish Mendocino. And then in June, this last one, they ended up with 32.45 pounds, down in 12th place, and puts them at 98.85 for the year and secures them a 6th at this point. Then you got Snagging Whiskers, which is Brian. So Brian, if I remember, so this is testing my brains a little bit. Brian is got a long drive. I think these guys are from down south, not as far as Rick and Judith, but they're pretty far out there.
Right.
And they came out there. I remember him because his very first tournament, they ended up taking 3rd place. First time out here doing it, they take 3rd. They didn't enter Mendocino, and then they ended up at 10th at 33.08 pounds. And then Old Farts Fishing, what I gotta say, February, 41 pounds in 21st place, which 21st don't sound bad when there's only like 22 teams.
Yeah.
I remember when we were way at the bottom of the barrel.
We finished in the top 25.
Yeah. Mendocino, we only pulled in a couple fish, I think, 1 or 2. It wasn't, we had 5.85 pounds. I think I was even 1 fish. And then we kind of moved our way up at 41.78 pounds with a 4th place win and 88.63. We don't have the century mark yet. We got to get into those hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the qualifiers are going to be in the hundreds for sure, as a lot of these other people start qualifying. Real Addiction with Matt Seaprit, 53.6 in February, 8th place, no entry Mendocino, and ended up in 14th at 31.7 in June, and then 85.3 total weight. Bar S, Ben Harper, another one new to the game this year, fishing in a pontoon boat, 42 pounds in February, 20th place. He actually even beat me last time too. So here is these new guys coming in. No fish in Mendocino, didn't fish it, and then you got 40.49 in 5th place. So they're staying at the top. They're in the top 5, which is good. So they're definitely making that move up. And then Team Sift, your team, Darren, 11th place, 50.45 pounds. Again, you're in 11th place with 50 pounds. We didn't even break 50 pounds this last tournament.
No.
So just wild weights.
Yeah.
No show in so on this one, it doesn't even say no entry because you entered. You just didn't show.
Yeah, I couldn't show.
You're becoming an old fart.
Yep.
Your back was out.
My back was jacked. Dude, I couldn't move.
My back is, people have heard, I'm going through some back issues and facing possibly some back surgery that I'm putting off. But I'm sore. I can't. Today, it's like I took 10 steps backwards.
Yep.
And
I
have an appointment this week to figure out when can we expedite some things and get some things going and see what we're going to do. But yeah, back pain like that is no joke.
Yeah.
But you are not in the top 10 yet. No. Ben's not in the top 10 either.
Yeah.
So we still have a couple more tournaments. So all of these things are going to be posted tomorrow morning. The standings for the tournament have been posted. This sheet here that I'm looking at will be shared onto the Catfish Bash page, showing where the standings are. I'm probably only going to show the top 10 qualifier spots in a screenshot type of thing, but there will be a link where you can click on it and go see the rest of the standings and check those out. But a lot of great teams. It was kind of interesting. We had a lot of no entries this last tournament. A lot of things. Other people like Herb didn't show up. John Hayes, didn't show up. Herb was definitely missed. John Hayes was missed. I think all the teams are missed, right?
Yeah.
Reggie, used to fish with Richard, is now doing his own boats, and they didn't enter. Bassline Bangers were out fishing for some big fish. They were on a trip that had a conflict, but they wanted to be here, and they were definitely missed, but no entry. Kai Powell, Kai Ramsey. There were no entry, and there's a few others that went down through this list that have registered before with no entry. So
we need you back.
We definitely need them back. And
we got a request to do top 15.
So top 15.
Okay.
All right. So after the top
we
10,
finished at 5th sift on the 11th.
So you're 11th. Let me do this real quick. 11, 12.
Carry the one.
13, 14, 15. All right. So Sift is 11. Hook 'em Big is in 12th. 13th is Rusty Hook with Aaron. Team Sippy Cup 14. And Pandemic 15. So
I don't feel so bad now.
no. So if we were to make the decision today based on the top 15, now here's the challenge though: is the top 10 get automatic transfer?
Yes.
Right. Everybody else in here is going to be a wild draw, a random draw.
Okay.
We're going to put all these names in here. We're going to do a random draw for those top 5 spots.
Okay.
So it's not just going to go in order. It's 10 transfer, 15 are going to be on a wild card, and then everybody else can enter for not a championship, but the first place loser. First place loser. But they'll have their own bracket. They'll have their own section that they're going to fish. Some more of that will come out as we get closer. But it'll be a little different rules because you almost have 2 tournaments going on at once. Yes. One for the championship, one for everybody else. And so you have 2 different pots, 2 different things going on. And we'll be able to track it pretty easily on the bookkeeping side. So on weigh-ins and everything else, it could be separate. I don't know if we'll have people weigh in separately. We'll figure out the details. But it's not just the championship. We're going to do the championship with everybody else who wants to fish. Now, here's the other wild card you can have. Say Alley Cats, for whatever reason, they have the number 1 slot. Well, basically says, they're number 1, you made it, pay your money, and you're in. They may say, we don't want to do the championship. Well, guess what? Or they can't afford it. Whatever the circumstance, they're out of town, whatever happens. Right. Whatever happened, it doesn't mean they qualify. They still got to pay. If they don't, it just drops down the next one, just drops down the list. So a lot of these top 15 could move up if the top 10 aren't going to do it, right? For whatever reason. Their team folded. There's a lot that can go on between now and that. Yeah. But that's how it's going to go. The other thing we were thinking, and Jake, I don't know if he's on, but
Stoney doesn't do a lot of thinking.
I don't do a lot. Is we're trying to figure out who blasts off first. So I would say out of the top 10,
backwards,
we'll do an inverted, first, second. So whoever, based on your qualifying weight. So it's not when you pay or anything like that. It's number 1 at 115 pounds, if that's where we were today, right? Yeah. They would launch 10th. And the number 10th spot would launch at the first at 82 pounds. So because you were at the smallest weight and you still made it, we're going to give you a little bit of an advantage by letting you go first. Yeah. So that's kind of where I think we're going with it. Again, it's Jake's decision, but something we were talking about today. I have a feeling that's what we're going to do because it seems to me the most fair thing to do.
Or you can do it totally random.
Or just totally random. But there's 100 ways to do it. Yep. I'm just trying to make it easy for us to just say, here it is. And then people know. Right, it's not just a random. They know where they're going to fit. And anyway, that's kind of that. So again, this will be posted.
Top 15.
Top 15. You'll see where all the chips fall from tournament to tournament. This was kind of cool today. Yeah. I was putting this together. I was just kind of going through it, and it's like, wow, this is pretty neat. Just kind of see, and one just for myself to see where how I progress.
You just felt good.
I felt good because I'm not going up. I'm not going down. So, but that could all change next time.
It could.
That's the cool thing about this. It's anybody's game.
Yep.
And a lot of guys will go out and pre-fish and do things, and they catch a lot of great fish. And come tournament time, as we know, tournament time is different. The variables are different. A lot of it is pressure you put on yourself.
Yep.
No one's putting any pressure, right?
Yep.
And I know for us, when Anthony and I fish, is we feel pressure.
Yeah.
Until we get those 3 fish on. Yeah. Then it's like a huge weight lifted, and it's like, all right, now the fun really starts, and we just try to, at that point, it's kind of like the chips landed. I can't control how big the fish is.
Right.
Hopefully you get lucky and you get big fish at the beginning, you're done. Yeah. But when you got little ones, you're chasing the rest of the day, but at least you're not going, I don't have any fish to turn in. Yeah. So that just takes a lot of for me, personally, that takes a lot of the burden off. We still got to go do our work and get fish.
Oh, yeah. But it's a good time. It was definitely a good time.
And you were down a person this time. Maybe that's your excuse. Is we were down a person.
Maybe.
We usually fish 2. Sometimes we have 3 if I have a guest on, and people that know me I've done that before in tournaments where somebody's looking for a ride, and Anthony and I will let them on, and we even took a guy from the casino or dealer one time. A video on that.
Yeah, that was a good story.
And I think we took Aaron one time when one of his team members didn't even show up, and he's calling me all frantic. Where's mine? So he got on my boat and fished. But we're over the charity cases. No more. We're in this to win it, and we just want to have fun. And I'm bringing in a ringer. Is all I got to say. We're gonna have that third position filled. Made a call today. Said we need your help. You know that. Call a friend. I called a friend. Even though we're in fourth, I still want to go higher. So
I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
It's got some. They pitched with me before. I'm not gonna say who it is yet, but. Because if they back out, I look like a jackass. So there's a few people that people know and follow us.
It doesn't take that person to back out for you to look like a jackass, Stoney.
I do that myself. Anyway, yes. Thank you for that. So what do you think of my case? What do you think of this?
It's getting there.
Keep it or
you can
shave
definitely
it.
tell you're Mexican.
I know. I'm
trying forever to grow.
Trying to get deported.
Just getting dirtier and dirtier as day passes.
So everybody, a lot of people at the bash are like, "You look darker." I'm thinking, is it that dark?
I didn't recognize you. I was like, who is this dirty ass Mexican? Oh, it's Stoney.
You had that hat on. I normally don't wear the big old hat.
Yeah.
I think somebody asked me
You're
that.
getting there. Let it go. Let it go.
Like, where's the bushes? I gotta go trim some bushes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep going for a while, see what it looks like. I've never had
brought you luck.
I've never had. Maybe it's gonna be one of those things. Is I'm not gonna shave until the next tournament.
There you go.
To see if we continue to grow. If I lose that tournament, or if I lose to you, I'm gonna shave.
Okay. Wait, no. I think if you don't place, you need to shave.
If I don't place, where? Anywhere?
In the top three.
In the top three.
Yeah.
So you want me to be in the money? So I got to be one spot up. So
if you don't place, you got to shave. Now, if you don't beat me, you got to shave your head.
Oh, I can't do that. No, I did one of those apps where you can see what yourself looks like bald. No, I showed it to my wife and said, "What do you think?" She's like, "No." It was like one of those. It wasn't even no. It was hell no. I think that'd be grounds for divorce. I don't think I'm as good looking as you with bald head. Some guys can pull it off. I don't think I can. I don't think I can pull a bald head.
I think we should try it.
I don't know. I'm not. Safety meeting wasn't that good today, so I'm not doing it. There's times for a safety meeting. There's times where there's not, and this is one of those times where it's not.
Okay.
I got to be laser. Well, I got to be focused. I want to say laser focused.
Too damn hot for safety meetings.
Too thumbs up. But so yeah. All right. So a lot of people want to know what happened.
Yes.
And I don't want to get into the drama of what happened. I just want to get into the decisions that were made, why they were made.
What do you mean? What happened?
What happened? So we had an issue at the dock.
Okay.
2 individuals out on the water that have issues, and people that know would know. And I'm not here to throw people's names around or get into that, because it's one of those things I want to talk about it, but I also want to be sensitive to. I'm not trying to shame anybody, privacy or whatever. So people know that know, but I do want to talk about it because it is an important situation.
Yeah.
Is one of the rules we have is no unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yep.
And it's a pretty vague term in a sense of what's considered unsportsmanlike, right?
Right.
So it can be interpreted 100 different ways. It could be like, well, you guys are all men, and men are going to have issues, and they're going to have words, and I get that, right?
Right.
We're having competition, and things will get heated sometimes, and but I think at the end of the day is, even though it gets heated, it should never ever get personal. It should never get to a point of violence,
right?
And it should never be a situation in my mind where it draws a crowd. If it drew a crowd, it's definitely not what we want. It's not being handled right at all. So we had a situation where, and again, the details aren't. I mean, they are important, but they're not as important. I mean, it's kind of a screwed up situation.
Yeah.
But something took place on the water that carried on to the dock.
Yeah.
And some stuff happened on the water. Should not have happened on the water. Shouldn't happen, period.
Right.
But it did. And there's a lot of he said, she said, and we've got evidence, and it just turned into a shit show of trying to prove something that happened, but there wasn't any real witnesses other than the people on their boats that were involved. The 2 different teams that were involved.
Yep.
So us as a committee trying to figure it out, we've got to take all the information. And the cool part about, not the cool part, but the one good thing is we put a committee in place just for something like this, for a protest, for something that needs to be addressed. So we didn't have that before. We didn't have a committee. It was just, it all fell on Jake's hands, and whatever decision he would make, it was
Could
on
be
him. It
biased
could be
or
bad
could be-
this,
yeah.
and exactly. So by having a committee, we eliminate all of that.
Yes.
And so we have a committee of people, and we pull one person that's not involved in the tournament, didn't fish the tournament, to be that other kind of person of the committee. And so after we, discussed it, went round and round, there's a couple different things. We have a protest rules. If you're going to protest, you got to pay $100.
Yeah.
And you got to do it before, I believe, if I remember correctly, it has to
The
do
standings.
before the standings,
Yeah.
right? So that way we can take that into account. Well, we were doing the standings, and nobody protested.
Right.
Nobody said, I want to protest. There was a lot of things said on the dock, a lot of pushing around, or words exchanged. Definitely unsportsmanlike conduct. The aggressor that basically I would say was the aggressor on the dock is the one who got disqualified.
Yeah.
From the tournaments he basically got banned.
Future.
Now he didn't get disqualified because otherwise I would be sitting in second place. If
Right.
the two people involved got disqualified, I would be sitting in second and not fourth.
Yeah.
So personally, for me, it's like I didn't want to go. For me, it would be easy to say I'm voting for them to be disqualified
Yeah.
because I have an ulterior motive.
Right.
And to me, that just doesn't end well. I don't want to win that way.
No,
I don't want to be
no.
up there in that way. So I wanted to lay back and let's think about this a little more before we just start disqualifying people,
Right.
and let's really think about it. So we kind of made a decision on the night of to not disqualify anybody, but it was
Right.
still under review to determine. So we got more information. My phone was blowing up. Jake's phone was blowing up. We're getting lots of people telling us information. So it basically boiled down to is once we got a little bit more information about what's going on, we had to make a decision, and the decision was the one individual was basically asked not to come back anymore, and that he's not welcome in the tournaments. Now the other person involved isn't scot-free,
Right.
right?
Now, is it just out of curiosity, and it's playing devil's advocate here, is that person that got disqualified forever, or just a season, or how?
I
long
would
does that
say forever is a big word,
go?
right?
Right.
And nothing's forever.
Yeah.
I would say it's definitely for the season.
Okay.
And then as we get into next year, and we can definitely evaluate it again. But I'm not saying that he's banned forever, because forever is a big thing. Jake could change hands. I could change. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
The person can do a complete turnaround time, and all of a sudden, it's a different world. But
Yeah.
as it is today,
Yeah.
we've got two people that are banned from the tournaments for their behaviors.
Yep.
And we're basically wanting to send a message to everybody doing this is we're not messing around.
Yeah. For sure.
We want this to be a family event. We want this to grow, and we are going to have a zero tolerance, especially when you're at the venue on the dock.
Mhm.
Some of that gray area of what happens on the water. I don't want to say what happens on the water stays on the water. It's not that at all. You want to be a good person the whole time, and you want to be respectful. But we're cat fishermen, men are men. I keep hearing this over. Men are men. They're going to have this. That's fine. You can have those issues, but when it gets to be personal or violent or to the way we've seen it go, that's where it's gone too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
You and I have a rivalry on the water. We're still going to be friends. We're still, but it's at the end of the day, it's not about that. These individuals involved in this stuff have stuff outside of the tournament. They
Yeah.
bring their drama into the tournament,
Right.
and that's where I have an issue with it. Is you want to do what you're going to do off the water. I'm not assessing blame at all on either one of them, because in my mind, by just being me and candid, and they're both idiots in doing what they do. They act like kids on Facebook. Honestly, it's like it's we're grown ass men. Stop acting like kids.
This tournament's actually kind of growing in the sense that people show up just for the weigh-in.
Yes.
People come from drive-in, boat-in, just to see the weigh-in.
Mhm.
We can't have that kind of behavior, because if someone were to get hurt for just one of these innocent bystanders that's there to enjoy the atmosphere and the weigh-in and the camaraderie and see what we do, and they see this.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't want to do this. These guys are a bunch of hooligans, and it's like, no, that's not the image we want. So we are taking it very serious, and this is the fallout of it. And I'm going to say the second person involved in this, if we continue to have little issues that come up, either outside of the tournament and inside the tournament. And when I say outside, we can't control what you do outside. That's all on you.
Yeah.
But when what you do outside impacts what we're doing inside,
Yeah.
with your actions or negative things that you're doing that are going to be detrimental to the tournament, we'll just kindly ask you not to come back.
Yep.
So your actions are being looked at, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I can be a jerk outside of this tournament, but inside I'm going to be not. Well, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If you're out there supporting, you're promoting, It's all good. We're going to try to make it so that's what you want to do. But when things like this happen, it's hard for us to say, hey, this is a family fun event when you got stuff like this. So we're going to squash it and be very aggressive on it. And this is the first step of being very aggressive. Now, if the second person involved would have retaliated back or engaged in the activity that was going on, and that was one important factor. And pretty much everything that I was told is no, that didn't happen. They were actually trying to de-escalate or walk away from it. Not saying he's free and clear of what he did, because he might have antagonized or poked the bear or however you want to put it, but there was something going on out in the water that got back. They should have left it on the water. As soon as they got to that dock, neither one of them should have said anything, and they go deal with their stuff elsewhere, but they didn't. They brought it to the dock. And if the second person would have engaged and it got physical or any other, reports back of what happened, they'd be gone too. And I'd be in second place. So hey. But I try to make light of it. On a serious note, though, we can't have that. That's the thing. So with that being said, that's basically what happened. So we've got a couple people that are banned now for who knows how long. It's all up to them. It's based on their actions. It's based on what they do. And some people, when they get in a situation like this, they continue to talk bad about events.
We got to clarify, though. You keep saying 2 people are banned. It's 2 different people. Two different events.
2 different events.
So
people that know what happened with the first person.
Yeah.
And their actions got them banned.
Right.
And now we have 2, and we're not out there to ban people.
No,
we're out there
to
grow the event and have an enjoyable experience. And the people that are not making that happen will be kindly asked to leave. Because we appreciate everybody involved, and I really get excited when I see these new teams come in. But then when I call these guys and say, hey, how come you didn't, enter the tournament? It's like, oh, well, I have a family emergency. I'm like, cool. I'm not cool, but, I get it.
I understand.
But when they say, oh, well, I don't like the environment, or I didn't like how, and that's when I start having issues with what's going on. And, as Jake and I and his wife, pretty much are the people that make this happen, and Rebecca doing the stuff that she does for us. Thank you, Rebecca. I always forget to thank her.
Thank you, Rebecca.
She does a lot of great stuff on the raffles and helping that go.
Oh, that raffle was dope.
Yeah,
so
a lot of
doing
prizes.
raffles.
A lot of prizes.
So to digress, if you want to donate raffles, you have sponsors, you have stuff, get with Rebecca, get that stuff in. I've given her an EIN number that they can use if they need one. Because a lot of the places want an EIN number because they want to write that stuff off. Well, I gave her a number that can be used. So if you got some stuff with one of your sponsors, a lot of guys out there are sponsored, get with Jake, get with Rebecca, get that stuff going, and we'll continue to have great raffle prizes. It doesn't even have to be fishing related. If you own a business, right? If you got a carpet cleaning business, or you got it was a little hard to do because they're service oriented. So if you're not from that area, it's kind of hard but you know what I'm saying? If you have a small business and you have something you want to offer or discounts or something, it just goes a long way. So
for sure.
Think about that. Or if you're like us, we make our own merchandise for Old Farts Fishing. I threw in a couple hats that, I don't know who won them. I was too busy dealing with other things, but I don't know who won the hats. But a couple of people won some Old Farts Fishing hat, and we try to put our garb out there. And, those are the things that pay for Catfish Wars, which I didn't even talk about Catfish Wars yet. I don't want to make this. Well, now I brought it up, I got to bring it up. Only because I just want to put something to rest on Catfish Wars. I think some people out there think Catfish Wars is exactly what we want to see on the dock.
No.
That's not what Catfish Wars is about. Catfish Wars is a play on, and I watch too much reality TV show.
Yes, you do.
And I watch like Parking Lot Wars and Storage Wars and all these reality show wars, right? And it sucks you in. You see a little bit of the drama and things going on, but I want to make it about the fishing drama, not the personal connection drama. I want it to be about the rivalries between different teams, the drama of you fighting the fish, and Darren and I are getting along right now, but we may not get along. It may be something, but it should never become personal. It becomes part of the story, and when I see these things going personal, content, it's going to sell. It's going to make us rich on Catfish Wars. You keep acting a fool and keep banned. Yeah, you're going to be part of the storyline, that's for sure. But it's not about you. Yeah, it's you become a side piece to this whole storyline, and the storyline that's going to come out is really going to be about the bash and this tournament, and just what goes on. Yeah. And you're going to have a segment where there's some stuff that goes on, but at the end of it, when we're all done putting this together, you're going to see that, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That these people really do get along. You do have a little bit of elements that come and go,
Yeah.
but this is where Eric's worth comes in to produce it. Is I'm not putting Catfish Wars together. I came
Yeah.
up with the idea. I'm coming up with hopefully some funding to make all this stuff work.
Yep.
And that's why we sell the shirts and the hats and the stuff, because that funds and helps pay for Eric's time and things like that.
Yep.
Is we wanted to get into big production, but that's Catfish
It'll
Wars.
make it
Yeah.
so pretty.
He's gonna make it put lipstick on a pig and make it look good. That's what he's doing. He's gonna make these catfishermen look like movie stars.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of what's going on for Catfish Wars. So don't misconstrue what we're trying to do. We don't want fighting. We just want to make a cool documentary reality thing on catfishing. And what's weird is if this was back east somewhere, I bet you we could sell this in a heartbeat, because
But we're in California.
we're in California and there's so many challenges.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try, right? And
Just-
maybe some.
Just gas money getting to the tournament.
Dude, that don't even get me started on that. We're gonna all have to be carpooling and
Yeah.
getting our CDL so we
Yeah.
can pull 2 boats at one time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I do want to leave this open for questions, answers, commentary. Give it up, and Eric's gonna control the mics and see if anybody wants to chime in, and let's talk.
Ken says, pick me, pick me.
Pick me, Ken. Oh,
Let's do
Papa
it.
Ken. I love Papa Ken. Did we get him unmuted? And do we get to see his
So
ugly, his
got
pretty
two-
face, or no? Is it just his voice?
got 2 subjects.
Oh, 2 subjects, not just one, but 2.
Oh, I didn't want to bug you on the other ones. First one, the ruling that you guys did, and we all stand behind it. It's your guys' call. But the biggest thing, since you guys have a unsportsman conduct clause in your rules, that is not a protestable item to protest. The item already says in there what happens to you if you break this rule. So it's really not a protestable offense, because you already have rule and a punishment set for that rule.
And I agree with you, and that's why we ended up with one thing we didn't do is strip them of the title and take the money back, because we're trying to still be fair and be a little flexible. But again, in my mind, if we would have done it the way like you're saying, I'm happy because now I'm in the money. But aside from that, we're trying to be accommodating as much as we could, but also firm with a message. So
no, I have no problem with them keeping their place, because it wasn't that. I mean, yes, it was grievous, but it wasn't that grievous. Now, if they went to blows and started knocking the dots, yeah, 100%. But
I'd be in second place. Don't forget that I'm in second place.
That's only get there.
Anyway, sorry, Ken. Continue.
Subject number 2, how you going to do the blast off for the championship?
Yes, sir.
I strongly recommend that you do a pill draw, and you could even do it on the Monday podcast before the championship.
I like that idea. I'll run that by our small team.
Because it's unfair to whoever is first place has to start off 15th after they work their butts off all week. And since it's a bottom 5 lottery pick, you might have a guy that's only caught 5 fish all year that gets his blast off first. Now, if you do a pill draw, it's just luck of the pill draw. If you're 1 and you get drawn 15, that's just the luck of the pick.
No, definitely I'll bring that up. What we were thinking is if we do it by total weight, it had nothing to do with when you register. It was just whoever had the most weight when we got the 15 teams, the most weight would just blast off last, and the least weight would then blast off first, because they didn't do well. It just gives a little bit of an edge, but maybe not, because how important is the blast off numbers? Some people it's important, some it's not. But
Yeah.
so yes, it's not as said. Definitely we're in a good spot now because we're not at tournament time.
Yep.
We've got a lot of time but not a lot of time. We got a little bit of time to figure that out, and definitely we appreciate the input. And we will be putting that into our decision making when we put out the rules for the championship. We'll definitely take that under consideration.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good thing for your podcast to do it too. That gets more people to watch your podcast.
I love how Ken always wants to take care of me and make sure my podcast is going.
Yeah. Somebody's got to do
We had
it.
like 5 people that watch, so we're good.
I
Thanks,
think
Ken.
today we got a few more.
A few.
And Darren, was good to meet you this last weekend. And Eric, I didn't realize you were so freaking tall.
Yeah, that's what they always say.
Yeah.
You
That
look
was good meeting
you
you,
look
too.
smaller on TV.
That's it for me.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hey,
Thank you.
how many more of these tournaments you making?
We know the next one for sure, especially since today was the first official day of retirement.
Yep.
Hey, congratulations.
I depends where we end up if we're going to do Lake Messino. I don't want to do it,
Right.
but it all depends on where we fall in after the Hot August Nights tournament.
So now that you brought up Lake Mendocino, let me talk about that real quick. Is we do have a permit for them, but depending on weather, depending on what they do with that lake, and because it depends on how hot it's going to get and how much evaporation happens, they could still pull our permit to that tournament. And so we're still going, assuming that things are status quo, but there is a risk that as it gets closer and depending on what happens with water levels, they could pull our permit and we'll have to cancel. Not that we want to do that, but we may not have a choice. So I'm just throwing that out there so people understand. And if we open registration and people are signing up, and if it gets canceled for whatever reason, then your money obviously gets refunded back to you. So there's no, we're not going to keep your money, but we will refund it. So
Okay, as fishermen, can we put that towards the championship if we're in one of those top 10 spots?
if your name is done,
Well, I mean, that's the last tournament that you guys have before the championship. So if you cancel Lake Messino and we've paid, do we have the option to just say forward that to?
Oh, yeah.
your
Entry fee?
Your
Yeah.
entry fee can be forwarded on. It's just a matter of if you're gonna be in the top 15 or not.
Yeah, I'll talk about just the top 10. We'll know going in that tournament if they're on the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to say hold on to that and apply that, then absolutely we can make that happen.
Perfect. But
It's
no, I
easier.
don't plan on fishing Lake Messino unless I absolutely have to.
You'll have to because you're gonna have to beat us.
No, I don't have to beat you. I just got to be in the top 10. I don't care if I beat you because championship time is 0-0, buddy.
It is. It's 0-0. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I hope you're around to be part of it.
We're shooting for it. Where did we come in? I didn't hear we eighth, seventh or eighth season.
Or ninth. You're sitting at ninth right now.
The
Yep.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. We actually moved the spot. That's what I was gonna
Perfect. Thank you, Ken. Anybody else, Eric?
I mean, there's people to talk if they want to.
Anybody got any
I
questions?
think Brandon wants to talk.
Come on, Brandon. What you got?
Brandon loves to talk. I'm just kidding.
What do you got, Brandon?
Eric
was saying that you said something about breaking 100 pounds for the tournament. I think he misunderstood you. I think you meant breaking 100 pounds for total weight. Are you on there, Brandon?
Oh, I thought total weight.
Okay, well,
But
you did.
also,
you
100
did
pound
break
total weight.
No,
That's a lot of pounds.
Total weight for the
weight.
champ for the
total
year.
weight for the year.
For the year.
Oh, no, it wasn't a year. He was talking about
I
last
think he-
tournament.
I think he was
You
talking
just-
for the year
That
because
was
you
his
did break 100 pounds.
prediction. Like,
That's the thing is, okay, Eric always gets it wrong.
What is it, buddy?
It was 100 pounds for the year. We wanted to break that 100-pound threshold. We were
Oh,
sitting,
yeah.
we were a few pounds below it, and I mean, in 3 events with one having a bunch of small fish, that's a pretty good feat for all the guys that did it with us.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're at
You know what I
100.
mean? We're sitting, I think we're close to like 113 pounds right now or something like that. And,
113.
we caught plenty of fish. We just didn't catch anything of quality. We could not break that 13-pound threshold.
I think, Jake, we got to come up with a way to put together an award, not just a championship award, right? Is who wins, because there's only one award. I think there should be something given for the century mark for any team that broke 100 pounds gets an award. Could be a plaque, could be something, but
we're not going to degrade ourselves to giving out participation
It's
awards.
not a
Come on
participation.
now.
Well, it's not. I mean, to break 100 pounds in the year, that's not. I mean, that's just. It's like not part of the championship. It's just hey, this
You
is
just want
recognition.
something.
I haven't even broke
You-
100 pounds.
You're hoping.
I can hope in one hand and shit in the other and see what fills up first, but I'm not even close to 100. I'm at like 86. But I'm thinking of the guys who broke 100, like Josh, Brandon LeBoy, those guys.
See, but the thing about Brandon LeBoy, he don't care about getting something for that. He wants to win the championship.
No.
That's right. I mean,
See?
don't get me wrong. I'll take a medal. I'll put it next to my other ones.
See,
But that first place would look a lot better.
Award. His other participation awards that he did. So.
A medal is a medal.
Hey, nowadays participation awards are acceptable. Didn't you guys know?
Especially in California.
Let me guess,
right?
you're a
That's
millennial.
right.
You're a millennial?
That's right.
Yeah.
Brandon.
But you
No,
did
I'm
good.
ex-
You
it was a
definitely
great
did
event.
this
You guys
weekend.
did good. You guys handled everything well with what perspired and everything, and
Well, I appreciate
I'm excited for August, and we're gonna come with a little different game plan. I'm gonna make sure I charge my trolling motors, and I'm not just stuck drifting for the last 4 hours of the day.
What about bringing your bait?
What a rookie bonehead move, right? It's like my first tournament,
What about
And
bringing your bait with you?
Oh, your bait? Yeah. You
Oh,
gotta bring-
and the bait, you guys caught that too, huh? Yeah. And nothing like getting brand new bait, getting all ready, get it all cut up, and then leave it in your freezer that morning, right? Good thing I live
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, at least you didn't drive 3 hours to get there and go, oh shit, I have no bait.
Yeah.
Exactly. It could have been way worse. It could have been worse.
You guys did
But
good.
no,
though.
we had a good time. It was, like I said, it wasn't our best showing, but we had fun.
Yeah,
My
that's
daughter
the
had a
key.
blast, and
I was gonna say, your daughter is a trooper.
He's next
dude, she
generation.
has so much fun doing these things. She can't wait, and she had a chance to go to my kids' baseball tournament, the travel ball life, right? The sibling gets to go do whatever they want, and the Snack Shack's free game, and next thing I know, I got a $150 tab at the Snack Shack.
Oh,
But she wanted to hang out with us, and she's like, Dad, I'm not missing this tournament. I'm your good luck charm. I'm like, that's right. You ain't got that wrong.
That's
You
awesome.
Look how many teams are in the top 10. They got their husband and wives, or got kids with them, and I'm telling you, there's something to it.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. I love
They don't
seeing
get that buck fever like the rest of us do when you feel that big one start peeling drag. And she's like, Dad, I just can't reel no more.
That's awesome.
And that's what it's more about for us as experiences. We've been lucky enough to not place below the top 10, and we're pretty happy about that. But the fact that I get to go spend time with my daughter, and go do this stuff as a family with my little brother, it's cool. We have a good
That's
time.
excellent.
No matter where we land, no matter what happens, like we have fun.
And you never get
And the guys that are up in the top 5 right now, it's going to be a foot race. It's getting close. This Mendocino, tournament's going to play a big role with us guys in this top 5, top 10. I mean, we got kicked out of first only by a couple pounds, I believe. I think we're in second now by 2 pounds or something like that. But come Clear Lake, that's easy to make up. You look how many points we just got.
Yeah.
Or you end up with one fish.
That's I don't know about
Right?
that. Okay.
There's that
No.
possibility, though.
Some people do.
I must say, Team Sippy Cup, I was shocked to see them only weigh in one. I mean, granted, the one they weighed in was big. Thank God they didn't weigh in anymore. Otherwise, we'd all be sitting down a place.
Well, with the size of the fish there, I was thinking that their fish ate the other two while it was in their live well.
That's it. If Rick didn't lose Judy's other fish, as I've been
Oh, I
told,
know, right?
things
Yeah.
might have been different. They would have probably been sitting at 50 pounds for 2 fish.
We're going to hear the end of that one.
One fish, I was thinking, man, the other two.
Poor Rick sleeping on the couch for a while.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
guys keep up the great work, man. Way to keep everybody involved in the families, and I everybody that I've talked to has been super happy with the event.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Nice.
Who else
Yeah, and
is
if
on?
there's anything you need from us going forward, don't hesitate to reach out.
Just
would
keep
love to-
participating and spreading the love.
Do whatever you need, man.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Who else we got?
We got a lot of people that want to say something.
Anybody want to say anything?
You know,
We
that's
got
cool.
5 minutes to the
I mean, you
hour.
can talk shit about Stoney's facial hair.
Oh, I
We
know.
don't care.
What do you think? What do you think? Shave it? Let it go? What should
I
I
didn't
do?
even recognize Stoney when he showed up on the dock
Yeah.
Saturday. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Just think if
Oh,
you'd
it's
have
my boss.
Just think if you'd have been carrying like a rake.
Yeah.
It was funny because my wife does not like facial hair.
No.
When I get a little stubbies, like she does not want to like have me close because it's rough on her skin.
Well,
So-
at least you're Irish enough to get the full beard.
Well,
I'm Mexican enough. I only get here. I don't shave here. I've never shaved here at all.
So when my wife and I first got together, I tried growing a little mustache, and it was like literally it would take me like 3 weeks just to get a little peach fuzz.
Oh God!
And she looks and she's like staring at me like I'm like, what? So is there
What's
something
wrong
on your
with your
face? Like, oh, are you trying to grow a mustache? It was
funny.
like so degrading. Like, are you trying to grow a mustache? Because I was trying and I couldn't. So I shaved it off and never grew facial hair after that.
Oh,
and now we've been married 21 years, and I'm like, I want to try this. My kids are growing facial hair, and I don't think it looks good on them. So I'm like, screw it, I want to try and see what happens because I could never get it to fill in, and now it's starting to fill in. So I don't know if I want to go full on beard or if I'm going to do like fancy. I have no idea. We'll see where it goes.
You get one like that.
No, Jill already said no. It's a big old like ZZ top. She's all. I don't think I can do a full beard. So we're gonna see how long it
Warren
goes.
said he hasn't shaved since June 22nd, 1983.
Holy crap!
And I'm like, I was 5 months old.
83.
83. Let's see.
I was like 15, 14, something like that.
I was like
I was
years
13.
ago.
Well, I've been shaving my head. I figured this out the other day. My son is 30 years old, so I've been shaving my head for 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just you can pull it off.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna bet. I'm not betting my hair on my head. Maybe this I can do, but
that'd be a good one.
But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can keep this till the next tournament. If not, it'll either be Jill said nope, that's enough, or I said it myself, so I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Now the only thing I'm concerned with is when I wash my hair. Do I use shampoo on my face too now, or because it's hair? I don't know. I've never had a beard.
Why would you want to use shampoo on a tuna?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to get some guidance on what to do with facial hair. I have no idea.
Just wash it.
Just wash it.
I don't buy shampoo.
You don't buy that like mustache wax or all that other fancy.
I do have some beard oil, and that's about it.
What do you need beard oil for?
Because it gets a little scruffy sometimes. Like
Mine's
Well, if you
scruffy.
had a beard first.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna need some tips
But
on how to
anyways.
take care of. Maybe Warren can say here. Warren probably doesn't do anything. He just naturally says some
Yep.
cool,
Yep.
burly, lovable
We
guy.
are going to get you some suspenders like Warren though.
No, I have wear overalls. I
Those
can't do this.
overalls look way too hot and 100-degree temperature.
Dude, I'm Mexican. I can handle it. I was fine. I wasn't even hot. I just
We're
don't want
gonna
to keep
get you
showing.
some
I
suspenders.
don't want to show Anthony my butt crack all day. Trying
No,
to
we're
wear
going to get some suspenders that clip right in the middle and the back.
I don't know. I just feel like it just keep riding up on me with suspenders. What
No,
happens if one of
you-
those break and bust an eye out or something?
It'd be all right. It'd be worth it.
I think my next phase of I think Warren's older than I. When I get to be as old as Warren, then I'll get suspenders. I think I'm
Okay.
still young enough to wear overalls.
Okay.
I went through a phase where I was just wearing those all the time.
I think
My
you
wife
should
was
be
like-
short over.
Cut him off his shorts. Okay, here we should do a bet. So for the
Are we
next
going to do
tournament,
booty short summer
If I-
when I'm in Italy?
if I lose against you, I gotta wear cut off overalls. No.
Yep, it's a bet.
No.
It's a bet.
Booty shorts,
After you heard it.
All right, I think
After
we
you
should.
heard it.
recorded. We got it recorded.
I was no.
Oh, I'm good. I guess where I'm going to be next weekend.
I just gotta cut the.
Yep.
Anyway,
Anyways,
that's the
it's
top
been-
of the hour.
Yeah, it's been a quick
It-
one.
It flew by.
really
we opened
was.
it up to some people with some comments. Nobody wanted to talk except the cool people.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon says wax it, sissy.
Wax it. What kind of wax? Like the only thing I can think of, like when I used
butter
You
to.
cracker.
go to the whole thing. Wax it all, Stoney.
Oh, wax everything, like the
The
whole
whole thing.
Brazilian,
The
just
whole
the
thing.
whole dip. No,
Wow.
that's all
Be
right.
interesting.
Yeah, swamp ass like thing. No. All right. On that note, I think that's it. So I don't know where we're going fishing this weekend. We didn't do really a fishing report other than catfishing at Clear
Catfishing.
Lake is a little tough.
Well, wait. Who did we have? James Powers? James Powers?
James Powers was.
Oh, he was killing the sharks.
was he? Oh, I saw
Oh, he was
something.
killing the sharks out there in the bay.
Yep.
He was killing them good.
I'm just looking here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, so next Monday, I'll make sure I'll get it confirmed. But Rudy Devine with Rudy's Trophy Catcher Guide Service is our guest.
Nice.
We're getting through the end of July, so I need more guests. So if you want to be a guest, whether you're a team, an individual, you just want to get on and have some airtime. I know Richard's going to want some airtime come August once permits are pulled and what have you for next year. He'll be on here, if not sooner. Richard always has an open invitation, but I got Rudy. I got J&J Tackle Company the following week. And then Derek Hartle, he's one of the fishermen, new guy to the team, wanted to be on the podcast. So we got him slotted. And that's cool to me. He says, hey, Stoney, I just want to get your podcast. Yeah. So if you're new to the game and you're new to what we're doing and you want to get on just as your catfish team and have a chance to just talk, introduce yourself, and just be on a Old Farts Minute with Stoney Stone podcast.
I'm gonna put it out there because I always share this podcast with all the groups that I am on for back east catfishing places. I'm challenging all you guys back east. Come take our money.
Come to the
take
tournament.
Our money.
One day dash for the cash.
Yes.
And you back east guys, keep following us because Richard Moutry got the Channel Cat Classic, which is going to be big.
Call it the Triple C.
The Triple C.
Yeah.
But definitely you're going to want to watch how this progresses and get involved in that and come out and take that money. You want some California money.
Yep. And I also want everyone on the line right now, please tell me how shitty the quality goes after this week.
So Eric goes on vacation Friday.
Ooh.
So the podcast will still go on. It's just if you guys tune into the Kevin Brock podcast I do on Thursdays,
it's gonna be a little bit like that.
It's gonna be a little bit like that. So where you actually get a break where you can call in from your house, just like Kevin does.
Oh.
So you and I will still be on it doing our thing. Just you can be there, I can be here.
Okay.
For 3 weeks, and then Eric will call in from Italy.
3 weeks.
He's gone for 3 weeks.
They're not going to let him back in the country.
Maybe.
I know. I mean,
you got to get over there and be like, no, wait a minute.
Send me back. I don't give a shit.
They're not going to send you back to Italy, though.
I mean, just don't send me to prison, and I'm fine.
So here's the issue. Eric's gone for 3 weeks. So one is I'm either paying him too much money, or
you pay me money,
or
we're getting paid.
We're that busy. But so not now that he's going to be gone for 3 weeks, it means I got to actually go work in my own business.
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to be out there shooting while he's out there enjoying a good time. And
perfect timing too, because the weather's getting good and hot.
And I know exactly right. So now I got to drive around this hot weather doing the job I used to do. But it's all good. I get to reconnect with some customers, and it was funny. I was on a photo shoot one time, and I show up, and it was a newer client. And he looks at me, or she, I don't know, just looks at me and goes, "Are you new?" I was like, I got to get out more often. I mean, people think I'm new. I'm like, I run the business.
I'm Stoney. It's the Stoney of Stoney's photography.
That was a reality check of I need to get out and see customers. So the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do a lot of customer service and reconnect with people.
Beautiful.
It's going to be fun. Anyway.
Ready to wrap it up? Or does anybody got any questions?
I've been stalling.
I still see people up there.
That's good. They're still listening to my bullshit.
I mean, Brandon did ask who's going to babysit you all and keep you in line. And I said Jill.
Oh, yeah. Jill was definitely. I got a lot of bosses. Trust me.
Yeah.
I do.
Yep. Don't be scary.
Yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. Check in next week.
You.
And we'll see you out there fishing. And I don't know.
Stay safe on the water.
Don't be a basshole.
Yeah, don't be a basshole.
Peace out.